So we are picking into the first seed of this game. So let's take a quick look. Let's see. This track is going to feature late temples, round one towns. You always suspect architects might be in the game when you have round one towns. We've got around 5 TPs is kind of high scoring, but I don't think this is going to be the highest scoring track unless, if you see what I see here, round 4 is sandwiched by 2 TP events and round 3 is sandwiched by 2 big building events. I think time travelers we might see. But other than the time travelers, who plays well with them? I think that we will see them. Who might play well with time travelers? I mean, we said that the architects might go for a round 1 town, right? Architects going for a round 1 town always sounds like a good time, so let's just toss them into the game. We'll see what happens from there. Conspirators? Snake, I thought that Conspirators might be a good pick because they're kind of fun here. I just don't love them necessarily in the first seat because I didn't see like a lot of good pass tiles. I guess they would have ended up on this 4 coins and a cult step pass tile, which is not ideal. Like they're not going to be able to take advantage of this unless I guess they like take Temple for Earth 3, use the cult bump, get the spade, and then next round build a stronghold and swap out of it, but that's just not really what I wanted to do. But yeah, like first seat Conspirators I just didn't really love here. But basically I think that was like a good idea because I think that Brown is going to be in this game. I think Time Travelers, well, I guess I don't know these opponents, so I don't know that Time Travelers will actually be in. We got Darklings, so there's a Old Faithful. Round 2, low scoring, the big building tile is in the game, the priest tile is in the game, and then round 2 big building is very good for Darklings. So they're going to be strong. I think that they're probably stronger than Architects. Architects I would probably put on a tier with like, maybe like a little weaker than say like Nomads, whereas Darklings are Darklings. So Eddie can't put an Alchemist. Yeah, what a savage block. Eddie also likes Archivists. I don't think Archivists are very good here, but that is a pick you can do. Sure, what do you do with Archivists here? You probably just save your big building for this round. You either open Temple or... Okay, it is Time Travelers. Hey, well, what do we call it? We called that, right? We called that. I'm just going to bet on Darklings. They're the only base faction here, but they're also the best faction. Like, they were basically the best faction on base. They're going to be the best faction here. Time Travelers are going to have an awkward time if it is E5 Darklings. E5 G5 seems pretty canonical. That said, I don't think E5 is the correct place to place for Darklings here. I think the correct place is C1 because you imagine that Architects are coming over and building this town. So maybe like C1 or even B3 is slightly better. Or even B5, where like you go for... I guess B5 you're not going to get neighbors because green's out of the game, and otherwise no one wants to build this C4 hex. Loqutus is good at Terra Mystica, but hasn't played a lot. Okay. This player doesn't have fantastic elo, so I'm kind of disappointed that they got into my game. I've been queued for a long time, so yeah, 272, okay. Both big buildings round 3 is surprisingly hard. I mean, I've done it, but yeah, it is hard. Like, it requires you to really, really commit your economy to doing that. But it can be done, of course. And that's like a nice 20 points. But my actual issue is that big building round 3, 2 big buildings in round 3, followed by multiple TPs in round 4, that's hard. You'd rather spam round 4 than Earth 2, Water 1. Yeah, so like, you're talking about build a temple for Earth 2 in round 1, and then build 2 dwellings, and then use Sanctuary in round 3 for Water 1, and then you just build TPs here. I think I agree that makes a lot of sense. just building both big buildings is very difficult in this round. That would require us to start with an economic favor for sure. I think that we're probably always starting with an economic favor. Maybe heir 2. Heir 2 might be a good economic favor to start with this game. It also synergizes nicely with the strongholds because like it'll help cycle your power tokens after you've used them, so you can still use that time traveler's like bull 3 to bull 1 ability or whatever. Don't forget that architects can do a town east round 1. They don't have to do it west. Yeah, but that is like my consideration for darklings. Like, you don't know what architects will do. If architects like make the town over here in the east as opposed to coming down here through the west, then you actually want to be on E5 so you can cut off architects. But in that case, why wouldn't architects just town west and cut you off of your town? That actually is all a point in favor of time travelers, but I'm just not sure like how far everyone is thinking in terms of that. You've done well with architects with gray in the game. B3 for darklings? Yeah, I do like B3, though my issue with B3 is that when do you get this neighbor, right? I guess like you don't threaten the architects, so therefore they're incentivized to just play nice with you. But okay, Eddie bid darklings out to 30. Am I scared of Eddie doing his Earth 1, Water 1, darklings thing if I'm playing like goats or something? I mean, goats are in a very nice spot on the color wheel. Goats can also just be jerks and start C5, right? It's much worse for Leech, but then you're really sad as architects if goats just start here. So you're probably pretty incentivized actually to start over here in the west. Probably the first thing that architects do is they just buy that priest action, right? What I would do is I would take, the priest is never coming to you, but I would probably take the power tile, secure the priest with my first action, and then I can bridge with my second action, and then I get all my stuff. I will do Earth 1, Water 1 with any faction. I agree. So like that's why I'm just wondering like, can I beat darklings if Eddie is playing like a basic Earth 1, Water 1 game with them? And can I do well with goats if I start here and I get cut off of G6 by darklings? Of course, like if we start C3 and then architects like try this, I guess if we start C3, architects could theoretically just start G2, right? Just start double center. That's pretty painful for goats. I think darklings are good. What would be my plan for darklings here? I think I would want to secure G6 with my first action. I would be getting handed probably the big building tile actually, right? Like time travelers are going to take the spade. Goats will want the big building tile. Well, round 6 towns as well as those double stack events. I think I'm actually supposed to just be bidding heavily on time travelers here. My biggest issue with time travelers is your town space, right? You could, like, goats can rush you down to G2, but more than that, architects can also start on G2. And then if darklings are on E5, that just squeezes you out of a town right here, right away. Maybe goats are the 40 since no priests and architects likely deny the priest. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, right? Like if I'm architects, I want to take this, like I really want to hit this town, otherwise I have nothing going for me. So if I'm playing architects, then the reason why I did that was so that I could town in round 1, and then in order to secure that, I'm taking the priest with my first action, and then I'm bridging through either here or here. So do we like the idea that we just start double center as architects? I kind of like that idea. There is a priest tile, you didn't see it at first. Oh yeah. So I mean, so goats are fine, right? Goats don't need a priest tile, they can just open double temple, like Earth 2, Earth 1, get this spade, and then just go to work. Like they're gonna be fine. It's weird that people aren't bidding more heavily on time travelers. My issue with time travelers is that you have a round 6 towns game, right? Do you actually play in the center here? Because if you play in the center here for the leech, then I think that there's a high chance you don't get your town in the center unless like someone lets you triple dig G1 and bridge, which I did manage to do that with maybe prospectors or something in some game. But like this is the E6 hex in this color matchup is pretty tough. But I agree, like, basically, on this, basically, I think that the round 3 event, you can get 10 points from building one of your big buildings, but the true dream is to build both. But I don't think that you can quite afford to do that. What's going on here? Okay, they did good. There are also 3 factions that won't take dig actions. I mean, the goats are going to be taking dig actions, just maybe not that early, or maybe not that much late in the game. I'm starting to have some regrets about this darklings bid. They're probably the least like fun of these factions. They're like the least interesting. They also aren't very dynamic. Like, they're not going to, like, all my points that I get as darklings here are going to be in-game points, right? I don't think that I'm going to be hitting a lot of track points other than like this and this. I think I'm going to hit a lot of, I'm going to get 5 points off here and like probably like 12 points off of this TP event. And then, so that would be like 17 points from that, and then like maybe 2 temples. It's like a pretty mediocre darklings game. And then I don't have network or cults. Yeah, I do like darklings less after talking myself through that, so, alright. I don't particularly want goats here because, again, I think that your starting positions are very awkward. I think that there's a world where time travelers are actually the ones who abandon the center. I think that if we start double east, hopefully if goat's first dwelling goes here, then maybe we can just start double east and then we just have a party to ourselves as time travelers. We secure this hex and this hex like in rounds 1 and 2. And then we just build up our econ, and then maybe we can do this. Okay. I'm talking myself into it. I'm just hoping that this player is bad. Is this player... Okay, this player's not that good. So maybe I can beat them if they're darklings anyway. Loqutus is good, I think we said. Yeah, like, if we do place over here in the east, we are guaranteed to get 2 towns. Pretty much. And that's pretty good. I do wonder about, like, how many TPs are we going to build if we try to go both big buildings, or, like... Alright, I'll put one last one here. And I think this might be my last one, period. I think architects and goats both have some play here. Round 4, like, round 2 sanctuary, great for goats. Round 4 stronghold, also great for goats, I think. I haven't actually played many goats games to completion. I'm in a turn-based goats game at the moment, and it's going like okay. I can't tell which of these is I think this is my goats game. Eddie bids down architects pretty aggressively. Love that. Yeah, in Madness I'm playing 1 goats game. Oops, that was the wrong one to click on. I think I meant... Where's my 34% game, huh? Oh, it's here, it's here. Yeah, this game here, we're in round 4, and I have 6 structures on the board, so yeah, as you can see, I don't really know how to play goats very well. I also don't know how to play Fire and Ice well. I don't know how to play hard faction matchups. I'm happy that this is like a relatively clean faction matchup that we're in this game, but again, double center architects could complicate things quite a bit. I mean, maybe double center architects is correct anyway. If I think about it, my strongest opponent here is time travelers, right? So if my strongest opponent is time travelers, I really don't want them to get a center town. My best way of preventing them from getting a center town is to just squat on G6, or G2 rather. Excuse me, you don't know how to play Fire and Ice at all. Funny, because I was putting, you said that you were going to sign up for one of the turn-based games I'm going to kick off, and I was thinking of putting you in the Fjords one, so maybe I should put you in the Fire and Ice one instead, just throw you in the fire, right? Anyway, I think I'm ready to try goats out. Put you in whatever, yeah. I assume that you're actually okay with that. I don't know what I do if goats start c5. I guess I was talking about starting double center, right? Am I actually brave enough to do that? Like, c5 goats is not actually that good for them. So, okay. So again, time travelers are my biggest fear. So I think that it's possible that I just start g2 and crush them. The only settings you can't divide I already ruled out. So I assume that those settings are like the lakes, revised, extra scoring, or the fire and ice factions. I assume that those are the ones that you don't like. Fire and ice factions and extra scoring. Yeah, I agree. Those are the ones that I don't like either. But I also just don't like lakes, and I don't like, I don't really like the revised base, but there's probably not as much like explicitly actually wrong with it. Mermaids are a little overpowered, but you can just now put mermaids into the game. Darklings, or black is really weak on revised base, which is tough. Yeah, brown does place in the center there, so. You agree with the point about revised? You're also not a huge fan of it? Okay. Okay. Time travelers just placed in the right spot. I guess there's upside to time travelers in that darklings might not place g5. If darklings don't place g5, then I'm almost certainly placing g2, but I think one of my preferences is to try to cut this space out here. If this player knows how to use shipping, then they should come up to c1 or e4 and give me neighbors here later. I also need to keep in mind like that I should actually put my town tiles in the correct spots this time. Because I have like accidentally placed in the wrong spots before. All right, here we go. This is very nice to brown. If I place d6, there's a good chance that time travelers are just going to crush this game. If I place g2, then I make two of my opponent's lives harder. But it's very, very kind to gray. It's tricky. This is tricky. What's our strategy this game? Well, like, what town are we actually taking? That's reasonable to ask, right? So maybe we take a ship town and then we just blast to D7 and A12 or something. We're also tying up a lot of our stuff here. We'll probably just save TPs for this round. Temple for like Fire 1 maybe? I don't know. I don't love what I've done here. If I take G2, like life could just get awkward for me. I think that we'd probably just take D6. And we think hard about which town we want to make, whether we want to make this town over here in the east or the town in the center. My guess is still the town in the center. We just need to secure these two hexes at some price. Am I going for the northeast corner town or the west town? I believe that I'm going for the center town. Here are the reasons. One, it cuts off darklings. Two, I get more leech because I can upgrade D4. No one's bridge blocking me. So anyway, I actually think that I'm going to lose to time travelers here. This looks very, very good for brown. Yeah, like I was saying, so the upside to D7 to the east town, right, is that I cut off goats. I get D7, right? Like, there's a world where I just don't get D7 if I don't bridge town over here. But then the other world is that I lose D3 and E3, and that could be even worse. Like, given that darklings didn't place g5, which I believe darklings were clearly supposed to place g5, by the way, but they didn't. So given these placements, I think darklings are pretty, like, goats are pretty happy to just dig down for a town anyway. They may not focus so much on securing hexes in round one. I'm kind of hopeful that they aren't. But we'll see. We'll see what they choose to do. I could get left out of a very, very lucrative leech party. I may have overrated like the line that I've chosen just because I think it seems kind of fun. Like I'm only 10 points above time travelers, and this was like a pretty foreseeable outcome that like a weaker black player might just leave this spot open. Like this type of like upside is just massive. I really hope that Eddie prioritizes G2, but I guess he has no real reason to compared to time travelers. So key hexes for me this game, D7, C5, like this stuff up here. Hopefully darklings aren't so aggressive and try to take away this town. That would just really kind of suck. This is pretty painful. The undo in round one, you always hate to see. Like, we are a little bit at risk here, because like a good darklings player is supposed to see that they're not going to connect this game, but it is possible that our opponent is very, very dead set on connecting, and in that case I could lose some very important hexes. I observed one of your games today and then didn't go on Twitch after, so you thought maybe I wouldn't stream. Yeah, I wasn't sure that I was going to stream today, actually. Maybe we can peek that. What's your BGA username again? Is it just MLP Mix? Oh, okay. Yep, Sopa. Okay. I do remember that. You were playing Enlightened, right? You were playing some very strong opponents there. Yeah, this is a very, very strong table. I mean, you scored a 158. Like that's against Rafa was playing what, like it was Prospectors and Children of the Worm, something like that. G5 darklings aggressively digging G4 here. Would that have been good? G4 darklings would not have had access to a spade. They only have one spade, right? So no, I don't think that would have been good at all. They would have needed to take like Act 5 or like 5 power priest just to dig in round one. I don't think that that's good. Eddie upgrades in the center. That's good news for us. We'll upgrade D4 and then we'll drop our bridge. And time travelers, I would consider, if I'm time travelers, just spading F3 now, because they would love to get the double spade onto G2, and I think that I might have let them off the hook and actually let them have that. Because in truth, I'm not like thrilled about the prospect of Gray getting this hex either, because then they get G1. Like I would actually love G1 so I can access I5 as well. Either way, like red is just in a tough spot on this map. Like even if yellow and gray aren't in the game, brown is very often interested in this G2 hex. So I guess like if gray and yellow aren't in the game, you're probably supposed to start double center and then just ship your way over to the east. But I mean, gray is in this game, so like I do think it's good to try to protect D7 at least. I think we can. So this greeds out a little bit of leech from the goats, and it also gives us a chance at attaining the double spade. No, we're not going to get the double spade, right? Brown probably gets the double spade. I need to time this right if I don't want brown to get this double spade. In which case, maybe I'm supposed to just bridge now. But I can get myself a little more leech. You know, I'm not supposed to worry that much about. I'm not supposed to worry that much about what time travelers are up to. I'm supposed to just play my game. And my game is going to involve making this bridge now. Like, for all I know, Eddie isn't paying any attention to, like, priority on spade actions, so he might not take this spade anyway, right? Anyway, yeah, I did see this game, and it looked like you were getting a lot of stuff done, as Enlightened usually do, right? But it's hard to find the right points with them. So yeah, it was a good game. I was like staring at Rafa's resources in round. It was like a round 6 towns game, right? It was kind of tough because I think both architects and you like made 2 towns early, and then you only had 1 town to make in the late game. It's a little tough. Oh god! All right. This player has crappy rep, timed out once already, and is about to time out again. Why is there a rep crappy? They were kicked from a Terra Mystica game 3 days ago, and then kicked from one 11 days ago. They've played a lot of Terra Mystica lately and been kicked from a lot of them. They were kicked from this one just pretty recently. Why? Is it because they're always chronically slow? 31, that's not fast. Okay, this is yeah, this is an issue. I'm gonna. I hate to do it on a stream, but like this is. Oh wait, this is on time travelers. Okay, they decided to just temple for Earth 1, which is fine. Maybe I'm supposed to value Earth 1 a bit here. I'm going to be the only faction that doesn't have a temple up after round 1. Which makes me think that the 2-key town might not be a great idea. However, goats and darklings should use their priests doing other stuff, so I'm not sure about whether the 2-key town is good or not here. Like, a worker is good, but I don't get this spade. I'm probably, like, this spade is not that valuable, and then my next opportunity to get stuff is here and here. Like, this is just, the rewards for the 2-key town might not be huge, so I think I'm probably supposed to go for the ship town here. Ship town is just nice. Fuck. Yeah, this is not great because, yeah, time travelers just got the double spade uncontested, and yeah, unfortunately our goats have decided to fight against me, which is not what I wanted to see. I don't think I can really afford to abandon my plan, though. I think I need to just suck it up and do this, and then I'm still going to try to bridge through here. Like, this can still be a 4-hex town, but this is much, much worse, obviously. Time Travelers rushed Earth 1, they're dead. I don't think that they're dead at all. They're going to get the double spade, and they're on the spade. How's that dead? They might not be a good... Like, rushing Earth 1 tells me that they might not be a good player. It doesn't tell me that they're dead, just because they took it. Like, say that they only get out, like, a Sanctuary for Water 1 here, and they only build 2 TPs here. Like, is that bad? Their problem is economy. I mean, so here's my take on that, right? How much econ problem do they have if they get like G4 and H7? Like they're gonna open Temple 2 dwellings. They have all their power tokens left, and then they might pass first onto the 7 coins or like the 5 coins. I just don't really see like what problems they have, economically speaking. Buddy, come on. I believe in you. Wow, this is truly miserable. This is truly miserable. Goats have decided to secure this hex by advancing their shipping instead of just... Like, this town is here for you, man. And now they're gonna not take G2 either. Why are you so scared of losing one gray hex? Like, I left this hex open for you. This is a town. Yeah, this is quite frustrating. This is among the worst openings for goats I've ever seen. And I guess like we should expect the unexpected, right? But like this, just like not building a temple in round 1 as goats it's very bad. It's very, very bad. Like, we might still beat Darklings here because Darklings is not like the strongest player, but yeah, to just come in and kill me like this and kill yourself, and just like time travelers are gonna win by like 30 points here. I don't know, maybe I really was supposed to just town in the east. Like, I did this and fed you leech so that I could be friendly to you, and then so that you could get double dig, and instead you did this. Just fucking killed me. In fact, I'm actually gonna build D7 anyway, right? I just realized I have a worker left over, and I'm taking a shipping town, so I'm still building D7. And then I'm weirdly handed the option to spade or this. The one good thing is maybe I get on G2 anyway. If I take the spade instead of the big building tile, then next round I could spade G1 and get onto G2. That might not be like the worst end of the world outcome, but I got stabbed in the back. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I played pretty friendly here. Okay. Where does this actually go? I think it goes on C2, right? Or maybe on D3. Like, this stuff here looks like it could be a town. I'm not that interested in building towns up through here, but maybe I should be, because this is a 2-dig town if I make a town up through here, right? So maybe it's supposed to go on D4. Yeah, I want B4 anyway, so double digging C3 and then bridging up here seems like a pretty nice way to get there. Don't know if everyone else agrees, but it seems good to me. So the ship tile goes there, and then I can leave this stuff for a town later. Convert. Build this hex. Enjoy the leech, buddy. These 3 pass tiles being available for the last 3 is fucking wild as well. I will get some leech on D8, so at least that's not a completely wasted hex, but this is... Losing this town spot is a real bummer. Oh, Darklings like Fire 1, I'm pleasantly surprised. I mean, they can pass onto the big building tile now and just open coins, right? Seems pretty nice. Yeah, maybe I've underestimated this Darklings player. I'm going to pivot to taking Western Grays and G2. Yeah, I mean, the plan is to take G2. The double spade disappearing here is very good for me that time travelers don't get it. Hopefully they waste their time putting a priest to a cult and they don't try to like do any sort of clever digging here. And then I should get G2. And I'll just build 3 dwellings here. I'll have all my dwellings on the board, and then I just... Unfortunately, I only have 1 neighbor for TP, which is very awkward. This also isn't a town spot, so that's quite awkward for me. I can secretly make a town here. If everyone gives up over here, then I could secretly take this hex, but I think that Darklings might secure it next round before I can get there. This is so much worse than for goats because of no temple. I mean, yeah, and they also manually used a priest to advance their shipping, so that's also very bad. So, all right, time travelers want to fight. We'll fight them. We'll grab G2. This also kills Darkling's town for good, so I like that. This is bad for all my opponents as well. So, I mean, time travelers are going to try some bullshit here, but it's not going to work. I'm just going to hard dig it back. They can't double hard dig here, so I am going to get this hex from them. But this does kill another one of my potential towns, which is a bummer. However, G2 is good for me anyway because that gives me a 2-dig town with a bridge down here. So I have a 2-dig town coming here, like maybe a 2-dig town here, and then a 2-dig town here. So I think that I'm pretty happy. Like, all things told, I'm not as unhappy as I could be, which is very unhappy, to be clear. I could be very, very unhappy, but I'm a little less unhappy than that. Their ship upgrade costs 2 workers and 6 coins. But Ghostly, like, have you also considered that they also lost production of 2 workers and 2 coins because they did that? They gained 1 worker of production when they could have had 2 workers and 2 coins of production because of what they did. So they did what they did. Time travelers put up a TP early, so yes, this does look quite bad for their econ. No longer particularly scared of them. I guess we're slightly unhappy that we don't have Earth 1. That's probably my only Saturday now. But I have almost literally all my dwellings on the board, so. So if I'm goats here, I'm probably buying this priest power action and then building H8 and then taking a 2-key town. That seems pretty great to me. Or like taking a priest town, but like the extra worker on air immediately is really good, and then I could send priest to water next round to get the spade. I think there's a lot of value in that. All right, do we build I5 now, or do we leave stuff so that we have some tempo later? I don't really see any reason to build it, but I also don't see any reason not to build it, so that's always like a fun spot to be in. We also have lots of good pass tiles here. So this pass tile could give us the access to so the case for the priest is that I could send first priest to water and then I could get a spade off the cult. Now I don't know why I need a spade off the cult, but it's not a bad idea to get a spade off the cult. Then there's the 6 coins. Then there's this, which gives me 3 points and potentially a coins action. I guess that's the worst, right? 3 points and a coins action is not really worth anything to me. Regardless, I think that I could get onto this pass tile as well. It's a TP round though, so do I really want to do that? I think the priest is probably wrong. I don't particularly want to bridge here. I just want coins, right? Let's build I5 and then just take the coins. I think that it's fine to just build this hex. And if I wind up on the dwellings pass tile, like boohoo, I make 6 points. Probably live with that. Wow, buddy, that was the wrong move. That was not the correct move to pass there. And it's not terrible, I guess. Like he can pass on to the priest, which is pretty good. He blocks me off the coins. I'm not sure if Eddie is aware of Goat's special ability. I've never seen him play Goats. He's played a lot of arena games, but I'm not sure that he's ever played the Goats, and I legitimately think that he might not know what Goats do. Like, these priests they're not as good as Darklings priests, but they are almost as good as Darklings priests. They are very, very powerful priests. The priest is almost strictly more stuff than the 6 coins. I mean, it's not more stuff than 6 coins. It's 5 coins, right? Or it's 5 stuff. This is 6 stuff. Okay, yeah. The priest is certainly better. Like, there's no question about that. But you think that they're better than the Darklings priests? Yeah, that's possible. I guess they don't have a structure like the Darkling Sanctuary, but that doesn't mean that they can't have. Okay, so all the coin stuff is gone. It's pretty funny that I thought that this round was going to last a lot longer, but I guess I just take these points and then I'm going to pass on to these points. I can probably live with that. I mean, I could totally live with this, right? And then I do get the coins action next round. As you can see, I'm just like completely doing some random shit here. Like, I'm just trying to make random points. I'm not sure that any of this is actually good, but passing first I think is going to be quite nice here. This F3 is quite annoying to me. I would love to have this F3 for a 3 hex town here. I'm also bummed because if I had 6 coins, I'd be templing for water 1 in this round. And I think that templing for water 1 is very, very good for me. But now it doesn't do me anything. Like, I can't afford water 1 anymore. So that's actually not happening. Okay, so this is going to be a priest town or a 2-key town. I actually think, by the way, that goats are not in that bad of a spot. Hilariously enough, like, given everything that I've complained about, I don't think that goats are in that bad of a spot. I think I'm in a pretty tricky situation here. They took a ship town. Okay, so they're going to continue to be very, very aggressive toward me. Like, they might come after this. They should come down here, right? That's what they should be doing. They should come down here. Okay, time travelers are going to town early. Not certain what that gets them, but they're allowed to do that. I believe that Darklings will build here. So I'm going to upgrade here first. It gives a lot of leech to goats, but I mean, like, I'm not playing this game to avoid getting leech. So yeah, so now that I think about it, right, the temple for water 1 would have been 6 points this round if I had gone onto the 6 points tile. That's definitely better than the 6 points that I get off of passing from here. But if I can still temple for water 1 next round, then maybe it's not so bad. And maybe I don't care about water. No, I should still care about water 1, right? I still want this. My real question is, can I get both the Stronghold and the Sanctuary next round? Oh, yes, baby. Give me that leech. Give me that sweet, sweet leech. What a good friend you are, Darklings. Darklings do have a lot of shipping. I talked a big game about building this town up through here, which was part of my rationale for putting the town tile here. And now I'm pretty scared that darklings might beat me up there. I will still need c3 or b4, but there's not much that I can do right now. Yeah, if I'm darklings here, then I'm probably just advancing my ship in and getting up here. Like, I'd appreciate the neighbors, but this town getting lost is a real F up by me. My utter lack of cult presence is also not great. Time travelers will take a 2-key town here. I should have a decent network. I might win network outright. Goats will be close. I have a lot of points on goats for the moment, but they still have lots of chances to make points. So yeah, time travelers do take 2 keys. I think that they're still pretty competitive here. They don't want to fuck up their power management, but they have. It's okay though, because they can probably just send priests to like whatever. Oh, they take an 8-pointer, so they can still use their action. That actually makes lots of sense. I like that for time travelers. It's a pretty clever decision. All right. We are now ready to pass for. I was talking about ship scoring, but because this thing is just 3 points plus a coins action, but I actually have enough stuff for the coins action now, right? So yeah, darklings are going shipping, so that's a big problem for my dreams of making 3 towns this game. It might be a 2-town game, which is pretty sad. I guess if I like double spade this guy, then I can get here. Eddie's going to go for E8. Okay, I mean that is a thing that you can do. But you have 2 ship, like take these 2 hexes, right? And then come down to H6. I guess this is connection, I mean. And maybe he's afraid of me like taking one of these 2 hexes because I have a lot of workers and no like obvious plan with them. Alright, so I'm going to get some darklings leech up here. Do I want to try to stand this round? I don't think I really do. I think I'm supposed to just pass here. And I was talking before about taking this guy, but it's only 3 points, right? And now I'm overflowing power, so the spade or the priest is better. And it's not clear to me which one is better. Like first priest to, well, no, certainly time travelers take first priest to air. So do I ever play a game without Eddie? No. Why would I ever do that, right? I definitely expect some leech from darklings, so I think that I'd take this I7 is still fine for me, right? And if I manage to get the stuff to get a ship town or something, then it is worth it to there's no real world where I get B4, I think. Yeah, I don't think that can actually happen. So I'm probably supposed to just abandon that thought. And I'll take the spade now. And if by some miracle I actually get this hex, then great. But in like the realistic outcome, oh shit. No, I forgot to down convert my power. Ugh, that was rough. That was really rough. Okay, so this is really bad. I missed out on a lot of power with that pass. Or I guess I missed out on 1 coin, but 1 coin is very important in Terra Mystica. Like the best coins, the best action is the coin's power action. That's only 3 points, or 3 coins. So, yeah, I I totally underestimated this Darklings game, just as this player has a low elo and is annoying to play with. But the annoying thing about quitting is that it actually punishes your future opponents, because you take out elo from your game, and yeah, you take out elo from your own game. So this player was actually like a 300 rated player before they got kicked here. So like BGA is telling me that this player is like a 250 player, but in reality they're stronger than that, right? And then before like they got kicked before, like they were presumably stronger as well. Well, maybe it is like a relatively accurate reflection or whatever. Anyway, yeah, I think that it's basically impossible to get an arena game without Eddie in it these days. That's what I've found / been told. Goats really fucked me over so hard over here. I don't even know if I want the stronghold anymore, do I? Like this tile I really should just put over here. There is no downside to putting it over here, I think. I really thought I was getting this town, but Darklings doing this much shipping with this much stuff it's really, really good. And they're winning the Earth Cult as well. How can I pivot here? If there's a pivot, I probably need to find it, like now. Otherwise, I'm in some serious trouble. You never played Eddie, but you also don't play that many games. That makes sense. Yeah, so I've lost b4. That is a huge bummer, but I can make sure he never gets neighbors over there. He's going to lock this up as well. Yeah. This Darklings game is actually the one to watch out for, I think. Well, I don't know. All my opponents are doing well. I don't know that I'm actually... I needed a better game plan, and I also needed to not lose that coin. That sucked. Yeah, this... Come on, man. Anyway, I'm 3 coins short of being able to go Sanctuary and Stronghold here. But the Stronghold doesn't do me anything anyway, right, as we said, so. Eddie has been in 48 of your 803 Terra Mystica games. That is quite a lot. Also, please don't tell me goats are coming after this Hex, right? That seems very, very bad for goats to come after that Hex. Does not mean that they wouldn't do it, but... Alright, repivot. I still need c3. I still need c3 to connect this game. So... Am I supposed to take that? Because if I take this Hex, then I can still make a Sanctuary town through here, right? I don't know how goats feel about coming down here, and I don't really trust goats at this point, like, at all. So I think I temple for water 1 here, and put my Sanctuary here, grab c3. How good do I feel about getting water 1? I feel very good about getting water 1, because Darklings can't do anything about it. How many games do I have with Eddie? I probably have fewer than you, actually, believe it or not. This Hex doesn't do me anything right. I'm never going to make, like, this town. So I think c3 is still actually a decent play. And then we maybe make the stronghold late. Maybe not. Let's try it out. Let's see what happens. Actually, I do have exactly enough stuff to go both Sanctuary and Stronghold. I only have 22 games with Eddie, yeah, and I have more games of Terra Mystica than you as well. I didn't realize that Eddie was such a meme until, like, this last year, though. They do play, like, an insane amount of Terra Mystica. Oh. Huh. Well, this certainly hurts my chances of towning over here, right? Yeah. The reason why I made I7 was to town over here. Maybe I'll still do that. TBD. This needs to be the strong. This needs to be the sanctuary town. So maybe we don't build the sanctuary or stronghold this round. One of the two, maybe we don't build this round. And here's 4,100 TN games. That is pretty crazy. That's unbelievable, actually. I'm in awe. Yeah, we're definitely most afraid of darklings. They're totally capable of 3 towns here. At least they're not getting water 1, but they can pass, take a coins action, and get, like, build all their TPs next round anyway. You thought that I said that this Darklings player didn't know how to use shipping. Yeah, well, I mean, I was hopeful that they didn't know how to use shipping because they're low rated, but it does look like they might just be winning the game now. And that makes sense, right? They're the only ones who haven't been disrupted very, very badly. Like, Goats killed their own game. Time Travelers killed their own game, and then Goats also killed my game like several times. And now Darklings have disrupted me, but they didn't have to. They didn't hurt themselves at all in doing so. So yeah, Darklings I think are in the catbird seat of this game. This game is just so sick for Darklings. God. I just realized that I'm probably not supposed to build, I'm probably not supposed to build Stronghold, right? This round. Unless I take Fire too, maybe. Because I was thinking, like, if I build Stronghold here, I can't actually use the bridge. Or I can't actually use the Stronghold action, because I don't have enough stuff to take a Priest as well. Unless I take Fire 2 here. Fire 2 gets me a Worker. And it lets me move the bridge with the Stronghold action. Is that actually better than just taking Air 1 and building the Stronghold next round, though? So that's 8 points to get the Stronghold out this round. I also get a town. F it, I'm just taking this instead of Air 1. We'll take Air 1 in the final round. Air 1 would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably 9 points. This Fire 2 line is worth somewhere near that. And then I can put the bridge over here maybe. Hope that Darklings eventually build C1. Yeah, like I really wanted Darklings to build out over here instead of ramming through connection. I should have 100% prioritized this more, or like prioritized this more. But as is, like, I've not done great things here. goats go into the ship tile, that makes sense. You still like going for 3 towns with a space of 2? I don't know what you mean by that, but it sounds cool. Yeah, I don't actually know what you mean by 3 towns with a space of 2. Time travelers do have the stuff to secure this hex. And they probably will. They'll probably build I8 here and then double dig H4 and I7. They'll figure it out. You're saying make the center town with A7 and then the west tile on C2. Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't think I'm getting A7, right? Wouldn't darklings just take that away from me? Like, I'm fairly certain that that's... Oh, this is the TP round for time travelers, and they made like no TPs. Yeah. Awkward. Also, I believe that they might have just lost themselves I7. We'll see. Stay tuned. Okay. They're going to build I7, okay. Or I8, but then I'm going to just hard dig I7 next round, right? Do I pass on to these points or these coins? Goats, knowing what goats have done, are probably going to take this from me, but I think points are probably a little more important for me here. I don't want to just keep handing my opponents points. Because my opponent is looking to get onto points like that, incentivizes me extra. Yeah, hard digging this is good for me because it gives me just another thing to build stuff on. Well, I guess if goats take this hex, then I'm probably not hard digging this, right? Or am I? I could. Like, I need hexes, I need neighbors. Right now I have 1 spot, maybe 2 spots, probably 2 spots to build my TPs on. So this hex is actually a good hex for me just to build TPs next to. So I think that is happening. My ideal round is probably... I have too much stuff open, so... Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to let goats have this. I think I'm supposed to hard dig this. Do I just float I6 or what? I guess I hard dig this first, and then I solve my workers issue by taking a workers town? Ugh, that sounds gross though. Probably beating darklings on network. They have a lot of towns coming in, which probably helps their case for not losing network. Oh man, I just realized something that I am allowed to do that I don't want to. One thing you are allowed to do in Terra Mystica is take a coin town. But like when I look at it, it's kind of obviously that's what I'm supposed to do, right? I'm supposed to take the spade here and then take the coin town, right? Like that's clearly what I'm actually supposed to do. Is there any way I get double dig? No, there's not. Oh wait, double dig's gone. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to take this and just take a coin down. Oh, I have no dwellings left on my board. Okay. This is going to get some leech. You didn't know. Okay, I missed something. You can have 2 town tiles on 1 town. Oh yeah, you can. You can join 2 towns that exist with a bridge, and then like move one of the other bridges elsewhere. I think that's like that kind of answers your question, right? Okay, I think that the coin town plan is on the outs. Okay, we get some lovely leech here. Alright. Coin town is back on the menu, boys, but the coin town really only lets us build a TP. And I guess the other thing is that it lets us have coins later, which is also good. Is building a TP this round worth it? The answer is yes, right? It's a TP round. I don't want to be building TPs next round particularly. All right. We're doing this. It doesn't feel good, but we're going to try to be adults about it, even though we really don't want to be. We'll be using this priest as a yeah. So this coin town is 5 points, but it's also 3 points on top of that because I'm building a TP this round. I just don't get that TP without this coin town. So it's an 8-point town, plus it gives me a lot of economy. Alright, does not feel great that we're here, points-wise, and our opponent is kind of ahead of us. Okay, so time travelers, I see what time travelers are doing. They're going to grab H4 for a sanctuary town next round. That seems pretty good. We need to be slightly mindful of power overflow. Once I make this TP, I'll have 8 power income. I think that I'm supposed to decline this leech, because I can't actually take any more stuff from anyone. Next round, all I should need is 1 expensive TP if I do get F2. Darklings can take F2 from me, but I hope that they don't. And if they don't, then I just get like a nice, easy town here. Yeah, okay, so I guess time travelers are beating me after all. I talked a pretty big game, but they should be beating me here actually. They're going to probably temple for fire 2, or air 1 actually looks better. Yeah, temple for air 1. God, all this beautiful leech that I can't actually use. Maybe I should have been taking all these 2-for-1s and then like down converting, but Ugh. Sad times. We're very sad about this. I guess that's the hidden cost of the coin town. I could have taken that leech if I had just taken the 8-pointer, or even the 2-key town. Actually, I completely missed that the 2-key town was there. That's definitely what I should have taken. Yeah, I definitely should have taken the 2-key town instead. That was really bad that I didn't see that. Goats have no more towns coming. There's literally no more town space available to them. They can't possibly make like a town here, or ship, like, or do 4 digs to get up here for a town. So they have no more town space left. They're doing okay on the cults. They're doing okay on network. Air one I really like because it does get them the spades. And then if I'm them, then, oh, they can actually sanctuary here. They have just enough stuff to sanctuary, which is probably what they want. And then just use your cult spade on this hex. Or use your cult spades here, turn this to brown, turn this guy to red. Oh my god, yeah. I obviously made major mistakes by not taking all that leech. Because I think I missed out on probably like 4 coins worth. And I definitely messed up by not taking the 2-key town as well. This is pretty brutal. This could definitely end poorly for us. In fact, it's already going fairly poorly for us, right? I am going to bridge up to A7 and just see like how darklings respond. No, that's actually good for darklings because then that gives them a neighbor to build a TP with. I'm going to bridge to E8. And maybe I can get free leech off of the goats when I do that, because that will give them a neighbor on that hex. But realistically, they probably just won't see that. So, did I take the bridge yet? No, I can't move the bridge. I need to put this bridge here. I guess I could just put it here. That doesn't do anything for anyone. I really thought that I was going to get a pass tile here, but I guess goats are almost out of stuff to do. Goats can hard dig and then build if they want to stay in the round, but staying in the round doesn't get goats anything, so obviously, we would love to get onto a pass tile here. Also, maybe we're tipping our hand too early by exposing ourselves like this. Like, darklings haven't used their priests yet, so they could come and hit F2. We are going to move this bridge over to F2 and kind of hope that darklings let us have that hex, but they don't. Oh, they actually need priests, right? They need 2 digs here, 2 digs here probably. Some stuff over there, yeah. God, yeah, I obviously greatly underestimated this Time Travelers game. Despite all the issues that they faced, they're doing just fine. Like, they're going to get a round 6 town with 5 extra points, and they're crushing the cults, so what are they actually doing badly at? The only upside that we have is that we're going to be at like 80-something points, 87 points here, but Darkling's getting 3 towns after that with Earth 1, and all their dwellings left to build is... Okay, they're trying to stall. Goats should recognize this fact and just build a TP. Come on, TP E8, TP E8. Nope, they build down there. I guess no one gets leeched that way. That's fine. Okay, darklings only have one priest left. They might buy a second priest, but I really hope that they don't take F2. But like, I can't really prevent them from doing that, so I'm just gonna do this anyway. See what happens. Alright, what's our dream round? I think our dream round is hard dig F2. Expensive TP, because I have no neighbors. Okay, goats sent a priest to a cult instead of, no, they made a TP. Oh, they still have stuff. So goats can continue to be annoying, which is sad. It's very sad for us. Yeah. Well, we're the ones getting locked out of the pass tile. Hopefully darklings, hopefully someone gets blocked out of a pass tile. But I kind of suspect all my opponents might get onto pass tiles in the next round, which is very bad. At least darklings can't take this hex from us anymore. We'll pass before them, so that's good. I guess I'm like not that concerned that I'm not getting this pass tile. Like, it's 6 points, but 7 coins is also very good. Or like this cult bump. I don't know if, yeah, the cult bump might be worth some points given how few priests people have put on the cults. I would love like the 8-pointer or the 2-pointer here. Don't know if I can afford that, and the towns and everything, but yeah, darklings probably can't really afford to mess with me too hard. So this is 2 more points and 1 fewer cult step. 2 more coins, rather. I think I want all the coins I can get. He says, but I may be... It might be possible to talk me into a crazy idea that I'm supposed to take single dig as opposed to... it is possible that I'm supposed to take the single dig instead of the coins action. Let's see, how many workers do I want to use next round? I would love to build 2 dwellings, right? 1, 2, and a TP. That's 4 workers. If you toss in a hard dig, that's 3 more workers. I would have 1 left. But I would love to build a temple as well. So I am actually quite tempted to single dig this hex with my first action. That also minimizes the ability of darklings to fuck with me, which I would love if they could not. So unfortunately, all 3 of my opponents get onto pass tiles. So that's pretty rough. That's not a good break. I guess realistically, like, the issue... darklings were probably always getting into pass tile? No, they weren't always getting into pass tile, because after me as time travelers, like, the best world for me was goats pass first, I get goats pass tile, then time travelers block that pass tile, and then darklings are out of a pass tile. But instead, all my opponents got them, and I didn't get a pass tile, so not great. Really not great. Oh, time travelers also get points for building TPs next round, and they don't have water 1, which is... oh, wait. Darklings and time travelers both skipped water 1. That doesn't seem right. I would think that darklings would want the extra priest. Yeah, as I was saying, I think that I might have talked myself out of coins action here. I think I might have talked myself into just building this hex. Like with a single dig. Of course, coins are also very good. letting darklings have those coins doesn't feel right. So, alright, so let's recap. The plan is hard dig, 4 workers, TP, take a ship town, maybe. Dwelling. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 for the dig. 2 plus 2 is 6. 7. And then if I take a ship town, then I might have enough left to temple. Oh, the ship towns are gone. Then maybe it's just a workers town instead. So I can temple Air 1 at the end. How much should I care about this town, really? I think we care about the town. And I don't think darklings are going to mess with us. My only issue is that I'm a little short on workers, but I can take a priest town to make up for that. Or like, you know, my town will help make up for that. And I don't think that anyone's messing with this hex. So that's my answer. If I don't get this town, then I get 3 points off of moving my bridge instead. And that's actually not that, that's actually like kind of good to get the 3 points for moving the bridge. So that's the plan. This is where it really hurts that I didn't take all that leech last round. I think that if I had taken the leech last round, I would have been able to afford just a single spade here. Okay, darklings are going to... darklings got locked out of Fire 2. That hurts. There's no Fire 2 left. That is really painful for darklings specifically. Goats just advance their shipping. They're going to build their final stuff. Makes plenty of sense. We will still take this leech, even though I'm questioning if we're going to be able to use it. Secure this hex. I've decided to take the 2-key town. I think it's just going to be worth points, and it also gets me a worker. Like, the alternative to the 2-key town is definitely the priest town. I guess goats have no priests left, so... But they are going to build temples, and they might build, like, Temple Water 2 and, like, fight me out here. Time Travelers have lots of priests left. I guess Time Travelers get their town before me, so they could just take 2 keys on me, but they're probably taking 1 key, because they don't need 2 keys. In which case, the 2-key town might get me, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 power. So it might get me, like, 2 points here, 2 points here, 2 points here. It'd be like an 8-point town that comes with a worker. Is 8 points worth it, do we think? Like, versus just taking a priest. That's like a 9 points, but then, am I getting any points versus Time Travelers, who I think are the opposition here? Taking 2 points this late in the game does not feel great. Do I think time travelers are doing better than darklings? I think I do, but I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. Again, I'm not sure what this leech is doing me, but I'm taking it just in case. Time travelers could connect here and just build 2 more dwellings. Oh, they want, yeah, they are going to connect because they're on the ship tile, so. But they're only going to be at like T-5 structures. I think that possibly goats and darklings both beat that. Like goats can hard dig down a dwelling, plus they have a natural hex left. So goats will be at 4. In any case, this is important. I think that the 2-key town actually is correct. And my reasoning is that darklings could hate dig us, and then we actually need H1, in which case the power is very useful from this. Yeah, as long as darklings remember to connect, we're okay. If darklings forget to connect, we're in some trouble. I'm very sad about what goats did here. Goats had never passed onto the priest tile. So goats went 1, 2, 3, 4 priests, and they might have bought like 1 or 2 priests this game. And they started with a priest, so I think goats might have collected like 6 or 7 priests this whole game. And they took this, so maybe 8. I think that in a good goats game, like some of those really good goats games, I see people have like 19 priests collected throughout the game. Forgot that it's a temple round for everyone else too. Ooh, spicy. I would have gone temple TP, but this helps them make this town, so I gotta secure this hex for sure, obviously. And it does look like I was wrong to take those 2-for-1s. If I wind up losing to anyone by like 2 points, it's not gonna be pretty. I'm gonna be very salty. We are quite fortunate that we were able to get this hex, of course, so we're going to build that. These priests do not help darklings make their second town. Oh, okay, never mind, those workers do. Oh god, come on, hurry up. So we're going to do our favorite part, which is math, now that it's the end of the game and I have nothing left to do. So I'm going to count time travelers getting 2 ship advances and 4 Earth 1 points, because they have this, or they have their time travelers action left, so they can probably afford 2 Earth 1 points, 4 Earth 1 points. So that's 7 from building. Actually, building a TP is probably just better than alternatives, but whatever. So they're going to get 7 points from advancing shipping, maybe 6 points from building a TP, so that's 13. Then they're going to pass for 13, so that's 26 more points coming in for time travelers. That I don't know if we can beat. on, man. That was the right play. That was the right play. Take the hex. Take the hex. Okay, they're going to try to make the town over here in the west instead, which obviously I'm fine with. Eddie did indeed build I-9. This is so annoying. I'm dying here, buddy. Yeah, I cannot take this hex from you. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I do wonder if this will be a temple or just hard dig another dwelling. Because hard dig another dwelling is perfectly fine for goats here to contest network. Obviously, I would love that because I'm winning network. Or am I beating darklings? I might not be beating darklings. But regardless, like, getting this is beautiful for us. All right, so we can now see the final score for goats. Please just make a move. The highest points that you can get from this is Temple Air 1. Nope, they're just going to continue doing what they were doing. Okay. Anyway, time travelers look like they have like 24 points on the cults, maybe. After, I think I said that they were going to get 26 more points in-game. They just got 3 points. So they were at 95 plus 26. That would be like 121. And then hopefully they got no network, but then they get like cult points as well. So they're going to get like 150. We don't have that many cult points, so. Unfortunately, Darklings took the priest. 5 power priest has some interest to us, maybe, but not really, right? The temple has to be better than a 5 power priest, yeah. Just take the worker's power action, stall our turn a little bit. Eddie did commit to not using any cult shenanigans, so a cult bump on Earth is guaranteed points. The temple for Air 1 doesn't get me anything. And also, interestingly, like, this is completely unprotected, this water cult. So we could be interested there. I think a water 3. Okay, so I think that the plan here is water 3 followed by the cult bump on water. Seems quite good to me. That gets me 4 points. Air 1 is 3 points, right? So we get 4 points from beating goats on the water track. And the nice thing is that then we can convert 3 power to a worker. 3 power to a worker means that we can build another TP. And then that TP was worth, well, that's only 1 extra point, but whatever, right? Like that's probably fine. Alternative is I bump here on Earth. Time travelers just respond by sending the priest to Earth, so that's, they would respond by sending priest to fire, or to water probably. That's not great. They really want to send priest to Earth. We should encourage them to do so. Yeah. And taking water 3 would certainly help with that. So do we have 150 points? It does not look like we have 150 points. We're going to win network outright, and we have 3 points coming in from the ship advance. So we're going to be at 104 plus the 3 points from building the TP. It's 107. Wind network 125. Yeah, we're gonna be in like the maybe we'll hit 140, but not much beyond that. I don't know about darklings. There's not much that I can do to disrupt darklings, but obviously I want to encourage time travelers to harass darklings as much as they can. Especially now that I know that I'm losing to time travelers anyway. Oh, they don't have water 1, so I gave them an extra 3 points. That might have some impact, but whatever. Where did I use my single spade? I used a single spade, didn't I? Did I just buy workers? I guess I just bought workers. But I just realized that maybe single spading this and then moving this bridge would have been worth 3 points. But then I wouldn't have had the stuff for the workers, so it's fine. Okay. Time travelers just send priest to Earth. They'll end with. Ooh, wait. Can we still temple here? Can we temple Earth 3 here? I think we can temple Earth 3 here. Yeah, that sounds good, right? So I think we have just enough stuff to advance temple Earth 3 and then advance shipping. That's at least, like, time travelers can only hit step 5 on Earth. So, yeah, time travelers can only hit step 5 on Earth anyway. That's a guaranteed 1, 2, 3 points. I would go from, or 2 points, right? I would go from 1 to 3 here. Plus I would get 4 from going up from the track, rather. If I got 1 more leech, I could just take air 1, but I think that actually taking a point away from time travelers is just as good. Because I do think that they're the competition. Darklings are going to pass for... Oh, Darklings are tying me on network? Yeah, I guess that makes sense that they are tying me on network, but there's nothing I can do about that. Whereas there is something I can do about time travelers here, so... Oops, definitely not that. This. I believe it is Earth 3, right? Yeah. It's Earth 3 because I do need that leech. And also, yeah, it's 3 points anyway. Darklings obviously will send their last priest to Earth. Actually, they could advance ship with their last action if they think that that's better for them. I think it actually is 2 points better for Darklings to send priests to just advance their shipping. Or 1 point better for Darklings, because otherwise, priest to Earth is 2 points, and then they get 1 resource point. Getting 4 points is actually better than that, but I can't... If they think that they're competing with me, then they would be correct to send the priest, unfortunately. So we advance our shipping here. 14 structures. So we'll get 15 on network, so that's 123. 123 plus... Yeah, unfortunately they just send priest to Earth. I unfortunately could not use my stronghold ability. Oh wait, will they let me do this? This move is not... The bridge cannot be moved as it would break an existing town. Okay. So they don't let me do that. So those 3 points might come back to bite me, but at least I don't need to feel bad about taking a leech. I hope I'm beating darklings here, but it looks very, very, very close with them. Time travelers do have me, I think, but I might still be able to beat darklings here. Yeah, I think I have darklings by like 1 or 2 points here. 2 points. 2 points ahead of darklings, and oh, I guess I have time travelers a lot higher than I realized. Like, I know that they lost like 4 points here but on the cults, but even 4 points, I must have been giving them network points or something that they didn't. Oh, I think I had 4 points here, plus I was giving them like water 1 points that they didn't actually have. Okay, well, we eked it out. Had some bad breaks mid-game, but fortunately did eke it out. We were the slow player at the table, so in the end, that's not too shocking. Green thumb here. Okay, well, we survived. It looked pretty dicey in a lot of spots, but I really do think Goats made a lot of mistakes this game. I mean, it's not too shocking. They're not the highest rated player, but it was very scary what they were doing for us. Like these 2 hexes, like we did wind up getting this red, but we lost this easy gray and this red, and they really killed themselves to do it. Like, this was very, very painful for Goats, especially because they don't get D7. If they can actually guarantee that they get this whole town space, like 2 digs for 4 hexes, like for a 4 hex town, then it's worth it, but they didn't actually get that. So the other thing that Goats could have done, that might have been interesting, is if they had hard dug, if they had single dug this, then hard dug this, then built this, then they could have gone around 1 town, and maybe they take a priest town in that case, but oh well. I got there somehow. Yeah, I think it involved a lot of mistakes from my opponents, but luckily we managed it even when our opponent did get their stronghold out, and like they made the right read late not to build the temple and go for the stronghold instead. But yeah, we're obviously not going to give the green thumb to them because they timed out. All right, let's take a look at what went down this game. 2 coins actions, a single dig, and then 1 workers action late. That was actually huge because it enabled us to take Earth 3, and then we took a priest and a bridge in round 1. Not much after that. How much leech did we get? We got mediocre leech compared to brown. Brown and gray just give each other so much leech on base map, and especially if black is not here, then brown gets so much leech. It's so good for brown to like have gray in the game like this. Of course, I also really hurt them, right? Like, they made some mistakes, like taking Earth 1 early was a mistake. Not rushing this hex and going for the double dig was a mistake, I think. So I caught a break there in terms of brown, what they did. I got a little lucky that they didn't take I7. Like, I really needed this town, and I just eked it out. Architects, I wanted off of them because they often have issues making points late in the game, and I think that we saw that at work here. I think that Fire 2 wound up being the correct read. It enabled us to build the stronghold and get some bridges moving. I think that it probably would have only been a 2-town game without that, and we probably missed out on 8 points from building the stronghold and this bridge in the correct round, if not It also won us some points on the fire track. Surely if I'm at this step, then darklings and goats are more incentivized to send priests. I also think that time travelers are more incentivized to try to less incentivized to close fire, and they send priests to earth instead, maybe. So yeah. So darklings being fired to block mattered, surely. Yes. So that was also another good reason for me to do what I did. Yeah, that's a very good point. There was no guarantee that darklings were going to get fire 2 blocked. Time travelers made one interesting move, which is that they spaded G3 to blue. If they had spaded I9 instead to like red, maybe goats would not have tied them on network. Maybe they could have built A7 H3 instead of making that TP. That's one more point for them anyway, and then I guess they're one short of tying goats on network anyway, but they used that neighbor to build one more TP, which they didn't need. They could have built that TP here or here anyway, so whatever. All right, let's take a look at the scoring track. I'm always interested in this. We hit the scoring tiles well, but time travelers, obviously, they built probably 1 or 2 TPs during like the really good TP round, but then they got several other TPs during insane TP round, so that was good for them. We got 9 points of water 1. That's not a ton of favor points, so that was probably our weakest part of our game. We took 3 very low VP towns. We took a coin town, ship town, 2 key town. That's about as low as it ever gets for a 3-town game. And yeah, like goats had a much more normal amount there. We also didn't pass particularly well. We're pretty mediocre among our opponents here. So we missed out on a fair number of breaks between the favors and the bonus tiles, but I do think that playing hard on the econ with the towns was able to help give us the area scoring and the cult scoring, so that was pretty big for us. And we only got to use the bridge twice. That's a bit of a bummer, but you know, maybe I could have greeted. Maybe darklings would have permitted me to move the bridge later, and I could have gotten 3 more easier points. But I'm happy that I did what I did. So we got some shipping points. We got some, yeah. So this wasn't the highest scoring game. Obviously, we were very correct to bid down darklings and time travelers, but I think our opponents made just enough mistakes that we were able to escape. So, and we also were saved from ourselves because no one offered us a giant leech at the end of the game that we might have just taken foolishly. All right, I think that's it for this stream. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for chatting. It was a fun one. It's always nice to get back into the win column despite all the complaining. So we'll see y'all later.